Hello people, Joe from Hello Sailor Effects here. Thought I'd just film a short video on how to wire up a true bypass switch on a guitar pedal. Now, I decided to do this mainly because I was sat here watching this week's That Pedal Show Q&A, and Dan and Mick started singing songs about a ship sinking, and I'm sat on a ship at sea watching them sing about a ship sinking, and I thought maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'll put that to one side and we'll get on with a little bit of knowledge. For those people who are interested, after this video I'll take it on a little walk around of close quarters as to where I am in the ship, and you can see where I build some of the effects pedals. Now, I have already started wiring this one up before I started watching that ill-fated video. I have started wiring up the earth side of things. So I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but just here there's an air plug on our power switch, and that attaches to the closest to the wall of the enclosure lugs of the jacks, and then I run that down to the base of the pot, just to ground the pot out, to make sure that I ground the enclosure. Just stops any frequencies entering the pedal while it's on. But the wire that we're really interested in is this one here. Comes from the ground round to the tag board, which is the ground for the circuit, and then it also comes round to our 3-pole double throw, sometimes wrote as 3PDT if you're searching for them online, switch. Now I'll get on to how that works, and I've just been reminded by a noise in the background that if you hear anything that kind of sounds like Moby Dick, it's actually our sonar going off because we're currently hunting a submarine. But enough said about that. Right, so this switch, how it works is 3 poles means that there are 3 actual switches contained within this one true bypass switch. Okay, so our 3 switches are here, here and here. So if I can just point that out there, that's what switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3. Now how this works is the center lug is always connected to what it's going to, and in one position all of these center lugs are connected to these lugs on this side, and then when you click the switch changes over and all of these lugs are now connected to this side. Now when I was first starting out, it took me quite some time to get that. I mean, I first built my first pedal maybe 2008, 2009, and it just took me some time to get used to how these switches work. So I'm going to talk through it, and then I'll show you one that Blue Peter style that I've wired up earlier. Right, so these are our jacks, and that outermost lug away from the wall of the enclosure is the live. So if we turn our pedal over, the right hand side is going to be our input, and our left hand side there is going to be our output. So when we turn this over, this here is our input jack. Now for our input jack, I'm going to wire this coming down. I like to follow a straight cable line, or as straight as possible. I'm going to look at this lug here coming from our input jack. We're going to send our wire down along the enclosure. I'm going to go work off this center line here, this first lug here. That's going to be our main input to the switch. Then this jack here, which is our output jack, I'm going to run this the same way. It's going to come follow the same cable run down, and it's going to come to this lug here, this center lug here on the outside edge. This is going to be our output lug. Then, because this is our input and output, if I was to click the switch and engage this side, I'm going to send this lug here going to the input of our circuit, because it's the input, and this lug here is going to be the output. We'll deal with that in a second. And then of course this is the output going to our output jack. I'm going to attach this here to the output of the circuit through this V cap here. This is our output cap, and that is going to come in here. So when we're clicked in this position, we are going to get our input is attached to the circuit, so this jack is attached to the input, and this jack is attached to the output. And then simply all I'm going to do is when we click it this way to turn the circuit off, what I'm going to want is I'm going to want these two disconnected, and then I want the input jack to touch the output jack, so then the signal goes right through the pedal, a la true bypass. So all I'm going to do is just loop small connection round and loop these two lugs together. So if we look at that on a larger pedal, I mean, you can do this with any number of jacks. So this one here has 2 jacks. If we turn it over, here is our input jack, and this is our live lug. Now I've sent the cable or wire down here, follows it around, and it comes into this center lug here, which is the input of this switch. Now with the pedal engaged, this will send the signal through here to our input of our pedal. With the pedal disengaged, it sends it back to here, and as you can see, I've looped it out. We just have a loop around to the other side of the true bypass switch, and it goes to our output, which would then follow around, go to the input of our next jack, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't matter how many of these you wire up together, they're all wired up the same way. And this is pretty much a true bypass looper. Stand fast, something like the Gig Rig, which has all like the Gig Rig Quartermaster has other functions to it. If it's just straightforward box with jacks in it and foot switches, that's pretty much how they're wired up. Right, so if we bring our pedal back, first things first, I'm going to wire up the signal path in bypass, which will be the input jack going to the common input lug, then the true bypass link to take the signal away from the switch, then to the output lug, which is going to come along and go to our output jack. Okay, so now we can see we've got our input jack, plug our guitar into here, the live signal will travel down this cable, it will go to this center lug here, then in the off position it will attach this center lug to this lug here, follow the chain round and go to our output lug, which then goes to our output jack, and that'll go off to our amplifier or other amazing effects or whatever it is that we might have in the chain. I'm sure you've noticed by now, if you've managed to watch the video for this long, so well done if you have, but I'm sure you've noticed by now the camera's bouncing all over the place. The C state isn't particularly steady, and I have one of these stupid retractable arms for my camera. I didn't really think it through. Clearly that wasn't going to be suitable for going to C, so I apologise for that. Right, so now we've wired up our bypass signal. How do we now, when we click our switch, how do we now apply signal to our circuit? So this is our input coming from our jack into the input, and instead of going through the bypass, we now want to go to the input lug of the circuit, which is here. So we're going to attach it to this one here, and it's going to come round and go to there. And then when it's been through our circuit and all a nice germanium NKT magicry has happened, and we've got our boost on our gain and the tone we're after, it's going to come out through this V cap here, which is our output cap, to this lug here, and I'm going to send that back through here. It'll attach to the circuit side of the output lug, and then that will go away to our output jack via this lug here and out to our amplifier and effects. So I'm just going to wire them in now. Okay, for the super observant of you, you'll notice that I put 2 wires into this lug here. Instead of just going to the input, which would be the input of the circuit, I've also got a 4-way tone selector here, so I had to wire that into this lug. So rather than solder it in and then unsolder it later after the video, I have just simply wired that in there. So now we have our switch, which can go either true bypass and miss out the switch, or it can send to our input and receive from our output. Now you'll notice that when I wired up the earth, I wired up one cable coming from our air plug to the circuit. So our air plug here connects our 2 jacks. The innermost lug is our air plug, and then it also comes down here, comes to our circuit here, and then out of our circuit. So this is our earth, it comes to this center lug here. Now the reasoning for that is, over here we're going to wire in our LED. Now when the pedal is on, this side is connected, sending signal to the pedal, so we'll connect our LED to this side. Therefore when the circuit is on, the LED will be on, and when the circuit is off, this earth connects to here, which no longer connects to the LED, so therefore the LED turns off. I almost forgot to film the video of where I'm stationed within the ship, so here's the desk that I work at now and again. You may recognise the space from some of my photographs. These pedals and all the rest that I'm building this time away at sea will be available shortly. Keep an eye on my Instagram channel for when that happens, and thank you for watching.